Hi, my name is Charlie Calvert. I'm going to be your teacher this quarter. This might be the first video you've seen in the course, so welcome if it is. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to create lots of videos. They'll be informal, just me talking, showing you using things in the IDE. I've clicked the Start button in my version of Windows here. I'm choosing Visual Studio from my menu, and I bring up Visual Studio 2010. Make sure you're using Visual Studio 2010. You should have the Pro version. You can get a free copy if you're a member of this course. You could probably also use the Express version, but if you do, you're on your own. You can always check here, Help, choose the Help menu, choose About Visual Studio 2010. You should see Visual Studio 2010 with a little purple icon, or blue icon. So let's start a new project. We'll go File, New, Project. You should see Control plus Shift plus N next to Project. File, New, Project, then right over here at the end of the menu, see Control plus Shift plus N. If you don't see that, then you should go to the Tools menu. You should choose Import, Export Settings, Reset All Settings. Choose Next. You can save your settings if you'd like to. Choose Visual C# Development Settings. Choose Finish. It'll go ahead and reset your environment. It, for some reason, made my little error list go away. I'll bring that back up. If the windows aren't arranged in this order by any chance, you can always choose Window, Reset Window Layout. That'll rearrange them in this order. Okay, we're going to just keep pushing forward here one way or another. So we're going to choose File, New, Project, or you can choose Control, Shift, N. For these hotkeys, you just hold down Control and Shift with one hand, tap in with the other hand. You don't need to do it fast. It's not a coordination thing. It's just choose it. New project, you should see Visual C#. If you don't see Visual C# over here and you can't select it easily, certainly don't do something like select Visual Basic or C++ or something. If you don't see this configuration, then go back to that Tools menu where we're looking at and reset Windows as described earlier. Okay, in the middle part of the new project, choose Console Application. Give your project a name. My new project, or my first project, whatever you would like to call it. Choose a directory. I suggest you put it in Visual Studio 2010's project directory. See, I chose the little Browse button over here. See the Browse button over here on the right? I chose it. And you can choose a directory where you want your project to be. I would want to have it right here in Visual Studio 2010 projects. So you select that folder. You give it a name, My New Project. Must be a unique name. And you click OK, and it'll go ahead and create your project for you. What this really means is that you'll have an editor window here, and this editor window is a place where you can type in your code. This is where you'll do most of your work. Right now you can see the font's a little small, and I'm kind of getting to be an old fella, and I don't see so well that way, and you guys want to make it easy to do. So you choose Tools, you choose Options, you click OK. Then in the environment area, you choose Fonts and Colors. And why don't we just move it on up to 14, okay? So I've set the text editor font to 14. I click on OK. And now the font's a little bigger, probably easier on your eyes. If you're young and healthy and you've got great eagle eyes, then you don't need to do that. But some of us old timers, we like to be able to see it, and it sure makes it easier for these videos. So we're good to go with that. Now over here is what's called the Solution Explorer in the upper right-hand corner. It's got a node for the solution for one or more projects. In this case, we just have one project in our solution. It's got some properties and references. We'll worry about those in some other video. They're more advanced issues. It's got something called program.cs. That kind of rings a bell. If you look over here, program.cs is the name of our main file, the one we're editing in our project. If by chance it were closed or it disappears, you couldn't find it, you can come back over here to the Solution Explorer and double click, and it'll bring that file back up. If the Solution Explorer ever disappears, choose Window, Reset Window Layout, and the Solution Explorer will reappear. You could also go to View and choose Solution Explorer right here, and it will reappear. Again, if you don't see these ones, hotkeys like Control plus W, S, Control plus W, comma K. If you don't see these ones, then you need to go to Tools, you need to go to Import and Export Settings as shown earlier. You want your ID set up the same way I am because I'm sort of a bear for these things, and I'm always going to be using the shortcuts and the hotkeys and talking about them, and if yours aren't the same as mine, you'll feel left out. Just tragic. I should stop rambling here. We should write some code, okay? So you can write, in here you could write console.writeLine. Notice how IntelliSense kind of helps us type things here. So you don't need to worry, but we'll talk about IntelliSense some other time. If typing all that out was too much trouble for you, you can instead use something called a snippet. Snippets are little shortcuts for chunks of code. I'll type C, I'll type W. That's the code snippet for console.writeLine, as you can see over there in the kind of right part of the editor. It says CW code snippet for console.writeLine. I press tab once. I press tab a second time, and console.writeLine gets written for me automatically. That's called a snippet, and it helps you save time. Any way you can find to save time, you should save time. Save time when possible will be the string that we will write out here, okay? And now we want to run our program. We can press this little key up here to run the program. We could choose debug, start debugging. And if we do this, we're going to be unhappy in a funny way. You would think it's the right thing to do, especially that little green arrow. It's very tempting. And you run it. The problem is, whoop, did you see that? Something flashed up there and it went away too fast. That was your program running. It just does one simple thing. It writes some text to the screen awfully fast, hard to keep track of. Better option, choose debug, start without debugging, and we run start without rebugging, and you can see our program ran. Save time when possible. You might notice that it's black and sort of small print, kind of hard to read. You can click on this little icon in the upper part of that window, choose defaults, come over here to colors. You can put the green, the background maybe to white, and the text itself maybe to green. That's just a lot easier on one's eyes. And the font, you could choose, say, maybe Gonzalez and choose maybe 24 font, okay? So now we'll go ahead and we'll run the program again. We can, we're writing a program, so we can write in here what we want. And if we would like to maybe write in a little something different than what we had, we could switch languages, not programming languages, but but speaking languages. And that's possibly the way you would spell tempus fugit in Latin. And we'll go ahead and we'll choose debug, start without debugging, and it runs. And notice now that we have things with the green and the white background and the font a little larger. Whatever you can do to make life easier for you, do it, okay? It's just you and your compiler there, customize it, in your machine, make it do whatever you need to do. If you liked it black and white and really tiny, then make it black and white and really tiny. Whatever it is you like to do, go do it. All right, the thing I need to do is stop talking. We've gone on too long, 8 minutes and 39 seconds. I wanted to get this done in like 3 minutes. I didn't do it. I never will. I ramble on. But I'm your teacher and you're stuck with me. And I'm really happy to be here teaching. I love teaching. I wish we were all together in a class, but we're doing this virtually, which is kind of cool. So I'm into that. And I'm going to say goodbye. Just stop rambling, Charlie, and say goodbye. And I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to do lots of them this quarter. Bye now.